right into the top 5 news stories of the day. Sad news this morning. President Obama has confirmed that the video showing the beheading of American aid worker Peter Kassig is indeed authentic. The Islamic State group released the video showing the beheading on Sunday. 26-year-old Kassig, a former Army Ranger, founded an aid group to help the Syrian people. President Obama called the act inhumane. Kassig's death marks the 5th Westerner to be killed by the Islamic militant group. All right, and back home, in spite of major pushback from the GOP, the president is not backing down on his plan to reform the nation's immigration system. The president says he has consulted with his attorney general and is within his rights to use his executive authority to act. He says his critics will find out what action he is taking when he makes an announcement. As the community of Ferguson, Missouri awaits grand jury decision on whether or not to indict Officer Darren Wilson, new surveillance video has surfaced of Officer Wilson the day he shot unarmed teen Michael Brown. Attorneys representing the Brown family say the video and audio from dispatch contradicts the police officer's version of what happened that day. In the video, you can see Wilson leaving the police station, going to the hospital, and leaving the hospital. A grand jury decision is expected later this month on whether or not he should face criminal charges. And 4 months after the downing of Malaysia Airlines Flight 17 over rebel-controlled eastern Ukraine, new amateur video has surfaced of the immediate aftermath. In the video, you can see just how close the plane came to several homes. Yesterday, official workers began collecting debris from the crash site under the supervision of Dutch investigators. The pieces will be taken to a government-controlled city. The investigation into what happened is taking place in the Ukraine and the Netherlands. All 298 people on board died when the plane was shot down over rebel-held territory on July 17th. And last in your top 5 headlines, the DEA is cracking down on the NFL. On Sunday, agents checked the medical staffs of 3 teams during their away games. The agency says the search has followed accusations by former players that the teams mishandled prescription drugs. So who got searched? The 49ers were checked at MetLife Stadium, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Baltimore Washington International Airport after playing the Redskins, and the Seahawks say they were also checked. Now, the DEA says no arrests were made, but more spot checks are going to happen. You know, Jared, as I mentioned, so this is all being spurred by a lawsuit. It was filed in May. It basically alleges the NFL acted without regard to the players' health, pumping them full of prescription painkillers like Vicodin, anti-inflammatories. I love football, but it is such a violent sport. And you always hear about all these players that really, from doctors' advice, would be too injured to play, but they're still out there because they're making a whole lot of money.
That's terrible. They shouldn't force these guys to get out there and play and pump them up with those drugs, as you were saying. But
it is definitely a problem, so we'll keep you posted on that.
Yeah.